Hello, I'm Kelly, and I'm going to talk about how everyone always thinks I'm straight every day. I consider myself to be feminine, and most people do too. And I can't say that it happens more to feminine girls because I haven't really taken a poll, but it happens a lot. A lot of the responses after I tell them is, "You don't look like a lesbian." I'm like, that's because we don't have a uniform. Like, it doesn't really come up all that often, I guess most people in my life know, and if they don't, and they say something about me dating a guy or something, I'd be like, well, sorry you didn't get the email, but that is not so. And I clear it up if I know them, and I want them to know, clearly. But when it comes to just random strangers knowing, I don't really always feel the need to tell them. Perfect example. I like to spend too much money on bras and underwear. I had to go get measured, and this woman measured me, and she was about to buy it, register it, I don't know the word. And so she made some weird comment because I guess the plain nude color bra I was getting was a little fancy, and she was like, "Oh, your boyfriend's gonna like this one," and I was like, yeah, so debit. Because some situations it's just really weird to be like, actually, you're never going to see me again, but I feel it's important for you to know that I am gay. Bye now. When it comes to guys hitting on me, and then I usually tell them, because that's usually how I get them to stop. Except I do think it's really funny when I'm like, actually I'm a lesbian, they'll be like, no you're not, and I'm like, you're right. I just lied about it to get you to leave me alone. Either way, you should stop what you're doing. The question that we got that made us pick this topic was something about she went to a hairdresser and they said something that was implying that they were straight, and the only time that I feel the need to tell people in that kind of situation is if I'm going to see them again, and I either I don't care if they know, or I know they're not gonna care, or it's gonna be a reoccurring topic. Love lies usually is a reoccurring topic with hairdressers. It's just kind of how it goes. But for example, I had a driving instructor, and I was telling him once about this guy was really fucking creepy, and when we'd wait for the bus he'd pretend that he fell asleep, but really he'd keep his eyes open and just stare at me, and I told him about that, and he was like, oh well, you know, your boyfriend must be running around crazy all the time because you have these guys looking at you, and I'm like, well, my girlfriend isn't a fan of it, but that was because I was cool with him. There's times where there's people who are involved in my life and I don't correct them because I don't want them to know. I'm a nanny, and the girl who had the job before me actually was gay, and she was visiting, and the dad was there, and he was talking stuff. He's like, oh, you know, you can always bring girls around, but you know, no boyfriends. And she tried really hard not to laugh at that one, but there's just sometimes that you don't need to correct them, and that's fine. Really, at the end of the day, it's totally up to you if you're going to tell anyone, because it is your life and your sexuality, and if you want to wear a shirt that says, what up, I'm a homo, go for it. If you don't, that's perfectly fine too. My ponytail's really curly today, and I like moving my head because it bounces. So in closing, do as you want, tell as you want, and have a good week. Okay, bye guys.